Hi everyone. Good evening. Hi Nina. My name is Nina. So we, as you said, the PPAG has given opportunity to be in spaces where people are heard. And then when you speak, you see the facts. So one thing is for that. Thank you.
Please let's appreciate Nina.
Yeah, as we are sorting some one or two things out, I'll just take just one or two statements from the audience on what our expectations are for this. I know I think both academic questions. I know what you want to say from and this is lecturing or that. So just one or two. Just one of the expectations. What are we expecting for this year? Just one or two expectations. Very good. So our next one's credibility. I will look on Hi. I'm Hazel.
So we are going to learn from them. We are going to back into the field and go
So much people sharing. Anyone wants to share an expectation? Anyone wants to share an expectation? Hi. Hi, Martin. What are your expectations for it? Yeah, I think I should go this side. I see my very good friend. So I'm working right to Mr. Superior. What are your expectations for it?
Thank you very much. PPAG, I know we've been in the sexual and reproductive health space for quite a long time. So my expectations is very simple. Of course, I know by the end of this lecture, you know that we have some kind of more experiences in the SRH space and the more best practices. So that's yes, expectation.
Thank you so much, Mr. Superior.
Okay, so we are zooming in to the main agenda. And at this point, I want to introduce one of you as the chairperson for this lecture. One of you. The person who is sitting next to you. Well, the person actually looks like a chairperson. All right, so let me tell you about this person. He, of course, I'm narrowing it down. He's a highly accomplished reproductive health specialist, organizational leader, and governance expert with over 22 years. So we are narrowing it down. Labo,
Yes.
please give us the PPAG sound for those who don't know.
Okay.
PPAG.
Sexual health and policy.
PPAG. Sexual health for quality life. PPAG. Thank you.
Okay. Now.
In 2 minutes. We use the internet. I'm not using this because I don't want to load on it. Okay, very good. You just shut up on there. Maybe your channel. See, be in our dance. Where's your microphone? It's on the phone. It's on, but the volume is unlike the other one. Yeah. This is the new one. So that's how it's supposed to be. So the way you're speaking, man out. So, right now, the key things. No, one key was. What's it?
Thank you very much, Ms. Ramos, for making us we are back. Ms. Ramos, thank you so much. Thank you so much. For all those who have not heard this soon, then it means that we are still part of the Gen Z family. You just go around to know how long people have been with PPAG. Because I know very well some people know this song, some also do not know. Please, can I see by hand to look after the mission? Anyone who has heard of this song?
The battery power.
Okay. A handful I've heard of the song. So when I come to sing one line in the song. So all those who raise their hands, I saw them. I'm going to.
PCT is what? Printing,
So,
hiring, consulting,
And training.
consulting, training.
say myself. I'll say myself. So you don't repeat what someone has
So
said.
she's a member. The chair is a member.
She's a member.
What's her name?
So me, I have said mine. So no one should repeat it. But
That's what I was doing. Man, she's coming.
No. I'm saying.
And she always does. She's a member of it.
My name is Aniwobi. Maybe I would have known if it's not.
Tell your life.
Maybe I'm not. Maybe they've constituted a new board and she's mad.
Or you raise your hands. Hi. You are.
And she wasn't bad.
Hi, Kathy. You like put your hands up. So you just one hand.
Okay, this is a very important event, and I do want to call it, but my voice is very horrible.
Okay, who else does do the hand? Who else raise their hands? You know? Okay, please, can I see my hand again?
But I'm a lot to play Zoom. No count.
I don't know.
What I wanted to use the phone to. I'll use them.
Wow. You know, I saw your hands up. What the lie? Hi. You raise your hand. You don't want to. Okay. And I think Mr. Table has taken his mic now. I'm feeling very confident. So I'll leave the floor to you. Did you have the floor?
Man says I'm feeling confident. If you know, you know. I saw parts. We are back on track. So earlier on, I was just testing, your knowledge on one or two things. But sometimes, when I was in the university, you know how people fail in terms of the exams. Sometimes Apo can swear. It happened to me a few moments. But I'm back. But you know how people feel per their reaction. No, I don't know now, but in my time, they paste the results on the notice board. Your name is there, your index number. Hey, it's not you. So some of us will go and stand afar and we'll watch people's reaction. So there are some, they come, they look at their results, and then they hold their head. Hey! You know that he or she learned, but it didn't work out. There are some who will come, they will watch the results, and then they'll be like, hey! It means that they didn't learn. Somebody promised them a pot, and the person pressed where they were holding. But there are some people, they watch, and then they're like, hey, that one, I don't need to tell you. Ladies and gentlemen, permit me to introduce our chairperson for this important gathering. She is the head of legal compliance, AML, reporting officer. She is also a board member for PHCT. In case you are wondering what it is, it's printing, hiring, consultancy, and training. This is a very important component of PPAG. If you have any printing job,
you have training needs, just call. And their banner is right here on my left. Pick the number and order. They will produce very quality products for you that you will not get anywhere. She is also a very, very good friend of PPAG. Ladies and gentlemen, with a round, and I mean round, of applause. Let's give it to Na Amele Kofi. She is a legal practitioner. So, Madam Chair, you are welcome. Madam Chair, your audience, your chair. Let's give it to a third person. Pat.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, for responding to request for you to be our chairperson. I will bring the microphone so you can give us a few. Good evening, everyone. I would like to say thank you for appointing me to be the chair of this event. I'm looking forward to hearing from my very experienced speakers, and I'm hoping that you will all participate, listen, and put up your thank you. Hello, please, can you hear me from the back? Okay, so I'll start again. Good evening. I'm very glad to be here. Thank you for appointing the chair of this event. And I am looking forward to hearing Mr. Widamati. So even though I've been in the industry for a while, my current role requires me to understand gender impact, women's activity, and of course, sexual health plays a key role in women being able to work and all of us being able to support our whole community. And I'm looking forward to hearing from you. And I'm hoping that all of you will also listen keenly and shoot down your questions so you can put it to him when it's finished. So please enjoy yourself and keep going. Keep your listeners out. Thank you. My little thank you so much, Madam Chairperson. I look forward, it is in the right direction that we call upon the president of the to keep us and welcome us to the chairperson. That it's no other but Gideon Lexing. I pause to make sure that you all get the name very well. So it's in the person of Mr. Gideon Lexing, President.
I stand here in two capacities. One, as a staff of our partners and sponsors for this event, Bank, and also as president. I'd like to welcome all of you to this particular event. So for our partners here present, our council members, fellow volunteers, staff, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. It is with an immense joy and profound gratitude that I welcome you all to this important occasion, the 58th Anniversary Public Lecture and the homecoming of the Franklin Association of Ghana, PPAG. Your presence here today is a testament to your commitment to advancing sexual reproductive health and rights in Ghana and beyond. And for that, we are deeply honored to have you. For 58 years, and when I hear 58 years, I ask how old am I? And most of us here probably on the average be below 58 years. But for 58 years, our association, DPAG, has been an annual course in SRHR education and service delivery, transforming lives and communities through impactful programs. Through strategic partnerships, the dedication of our volunteers, and the passionate efforts of our staff, we have championed access to quality productive health services, advocated for progressive policies, and empowered young people with knowledge to make informed decisions about their future. And personally, I say the NC are a testament to that because of where we started from and where we have also reached. And myself and the chairperson that you also mentioned have been a member of PPAG when we started FND in the 1990s. That's the family life education class. And this is a testament to what we have been able to achieve. Today's gathering is not merely a celebration. It is a powerful reminder of the collective resolve that has shaped PPAG's legacy. We extend our deepest appreciation to our government partners, OSPAM and others here, our government agencies, civil society organizations, volunteers, and staff. Your unwavering support has been the backbone of our nation and our success. This year's theme, celebrating 58 years of PPAG's leadership in SRHR education services in Ghana, reminds us to reflect on our achievements while recognizing the challenges that remain. As we engage in today's lecture, let us explore innovative strategies to expand access to SRHR services, particularly for the marginalized and vulnerable population. Let us also be reminded that it is time for sustainable programming in the face of the political happening across the globe, especially in the US. We need to sustain the gains made so far and expand our reach. Let me take this opportunity also to shed light on two great initiatives that we will be launching soon. The first one, PPAG Hall of Fame. The Planned Parenthood Hall of Fame is an initiative dedicated to 100 individuals that have made significant contributions to SRHR in Ghana. The Hall of Fame will celebrate pioneers, healthcare professionals, policymakers, activists whose work has advanced access to SRHR information services. Through this initiative, PPAG aims to inspire generations to champion reproductive health and rights, while fostering a culture of recognition and appreciation for the efforts that promote access to quality healthcare and education. Individuals will be inducted based on the work done in this area, such as advocacy, policy influence, service delivery, research, and innovation in Ghana. And nominees must have demonstrated a long-term commitment and impact in the sector we operate in. Selection will be made by a committee of experts, and inductees receive prestigious recognition, networking opportunities, and platform for further influencing policies and programs. Additionally, their contributions will be documented and celebrated, ensuring their legacy continues to inspire efforts towards universal access to productive health services. And we are thinking this Hall of Fame awards will be named after Professor Sai, who has one of our icons as far as SRHR is concerned in Ghana. The second initiative, PPAG Staff and Volunteers Award. The PPAG Staff and Volunteers Award scheme is an initiative designed to recognize and celebrate the dedication, hard work, and impact of staff and volunteers. By fostering a culture of excellence and appreciation, the scheme will encourage staff and volunteers to go above and beyond in delivering the life-changing programs, advocacy, and community engagement we are involved in. Awards recipients will be selected based on clear criteria, including exceptional performance, innovation in service delivery, leadership in advocacy, commitment to improving SRHR accessibility, particularly for marginalized groups. Nominations will undergo a thorough evaluation process by a panel of judges. The prize package for winners typically includes plaques, certificates of honor, and where possible some financial incentives as well. To our partners here gathered, youth advocates, stakeholders, and media representatives,
Recording in
I
progress.
urge you all actively participate, share insights, and collaborate on ideas that will propel PPAG's mission forward. Together, we can break barriers and ensure that reproductive health and rights are held for all. Once again, I warmly welcome Thank you for honoring my invitation. I look forward to an enriching dialogue and reaching Long live the God live our dedication to SRHR. God live Ghana. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that awesome conversation. Long live and long live Ghana. There might be some people among us that are telling people, but we not how they can. We appreciate it now. The journey has been long.
I can see one position.
Want to go where did it go? So to do this for us,
You want this to go to class?
someone who has been like within the time for
Great afternoon. At first I thought I'm going to do it, but my friends invited me to sing. But I hope you can hear me. You can. We'll say good evening to all of us. Hello. First, I would like to say that there must be some bit of conflict of interest here because the chairperson is my God or my niece. Now, Emily, I won't mention the husband's name, but I have never been introduced to the husband. She's my daughter. And her mother was my daughter's, one of my daughter's godmother. So that's conflict of interest. If I had known that she was coming to be the church, I wouldn't have taken her with that. Because as a volunteer, I'm not being paid for just 5 minutes. And I've already taken 30 seconds out. Good evening, Albert. Albert and I have worked together for a while. And I'm not surprised that he is going to be delivering the keynote address. And I think he will give you real support for your money. I haven't said good evening to the president. I haven't said good evening to the ED. The ED because I haven't gotten there, but the president because he failed to greet the patrons. So I'm also not greeting him. That's for the Benjamin.
You failed to bring the patrons.
And then we have our staff, both the top management, we call SMT, and also the other members of the staff. We also have a few volunteers here, new and old, and you can see I'm in the middle. We have the old volunteers, they have the new volunteers, and I'm somewhere there. So, somebody was trying to make a reference to people who are with the PPAG all their lives. That cannot be true. Because the oldest members of the volunteers are not double the age of PPAG. So perhaps that's a bit of an advantage. But some people have been
Yeah,
in the association for more than 50 years. If you say that no lawyer can sue, some people have done that. So, but I'm digressing. I hope I can read this because sometimes where I am, I don't get it. So I'm forgetting how to do it. So I'll hold the process to me. They don't get offended. I have glasses on that I still I forgot about the media. We have both internal media and external media. Greeting to all of you, good evening, all of you. And then my people who always want to take me out. And this recently included Madam OMC. I thank you for letting me have this 5 minutes, even though I've taken 2 of the minutes already. My goal here is really very, very simple. And I'll say that with all the appropriate protocols in place, I won't say observers can be worried, but in place, I wish to proceed with a disclaimer. And the disclaimer is just, I am not your regular historian. So being called upon to give a very brief, only 5 minutes, not 5 minutes. That is a troublesome assignment because I don't know how to count the seconds, but I'll try. With all the appropriate protocols in place, as I said, I wish to proceed with full disclaimer that I'm not your regular historian. My task here is therefore quite simply to lay a little bit of foundation to provide a deeper understanding of what is going to happen today. I've never been a lecturer, so I'm glad that I've been that is to say, progress in the right direction is positive and very, very positive. That's what I'm going to talk about. Both the one who is going to bring the key, and the one who is going to be our the perseverance, the true persevere, and that's what we've been doing since 1965 and 67. It's been started long before in the 50s, right after independence. The perseverance so here it's this one. I'm going to get that
Mix.
Sometimes very English not done. So
Maybe.
safer that I don't talk about. I'll read that whoever. With massive encouragement from 2 devoted ladies from November 1956 and 2 individual sacrifices of various public servants. So now I found and I feel that very 2 times. Transparency Association of that was formally inaugurated on February 1967. I'll mention the 2 names. Miss Gates, in November 1956, actually visited Ghana on the Pathfinder Conference and have returned to Ghana in 1957 and again in 1959 to meet with Dr. Bannerman, IHO Bannerman, and other physicians and professionals. While she was here, she held various discussions in the following: the relation of Ghana women, the matter is not women's politics, but the matter is men's politics. I hope you get that point. Because it was not easy getting the women to come on anything concerning family time or something, unless their husbands allow them or their fathers allow them. So they went for the popular, the proper popular, and then for the best fellowship of the competition. The best, I think, We also met with Dr. B.B. George, Professor Sarah Jojo, Dr. M.A. Barma, and Mr. Communication. Start of message case. Now we come to the second level. We said that she had previously worked at the London office of KNUS. When I was in Kumasi, we didn't have PPAG, because in Kumasi was the one. So the KN had vanished, and it was US. They all my sports person we had invested, not in US. So sometimes I forget what the PM is. This Madam research that I previously worked at the London office of the PMS. And she followed up on the work of this case when she herself became the IPPF original editor of the service and wrote the amount that the executive data of the national funding and program. And also Dr. Barnett, you all know Dr. Barnett, if we have any relevance of this matter. Okay, if we don't have data, that is one of the powers together with the science. So we probably want to talk about him if we don't. To the perseverance of this lady. No, I think I did that something. You want to talk to my son, but I can switch. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Okay. I will take that one again, but I promise I will wait. Through her, against the that are now Dr. Barnett, and Dr. Barnett attended the IPPF West European and Mediterranean Legal Conference in Copenhagen, Denmark. This was on 28 July 1966. Through the perseverance of which persistent delays, Dr. Keke, Miziechi, and Dr. Amma resolved to form a voluntary family finance in Ghana between August 1966 and the 3rd of March 1967. We were joined by the Queen, and I'll read their list. Professor F.T. Stein, who was then FAO Nutrition Director for Africa, as well as being Professor Designate of Preventive and Social Medicine at Ghana Medical School. Dr. Ian Omabu, Chairman of National Education Council. I don't know how to talk. I'll be direct. Yeah, so we heard of Dr. Kosa and Dr. Ian Omabu. We also have Mrs. Janet Ingrid, who was the FOH Health Education Advisor at the time. Then Dr. Keke Kosa, obstetrician and gynecologist. Mrs. Rosina Konya, I think we all know the name. Auntie Rosie Konya. I think she got 1.1 million before she died. She was a nurse pharmacist. I don't know whether we have those relations these days, but she was a nurse pharmacist and a Roman ambassador for PPAG. Pre-formation, post-formation, and until she got to the 80s. Then we have the wife of the new state director in Ghana. If it were today, she wouldn't have been able to become. I think we know that. So, but in those days, they were still our partners, but only official because we had not formed the, or let me finish, because PPAG had not been, but she felt the need to be there.
and she was also contacted if you join. We also have the J. Forrester Clayton, the Christian Council of Ghana Family Advice Center. She was in charge of the center. Then we have, apart from the doctors who were there, we have 6 midwives. And so you wonder why didn't they have 6 nurses? And they have 6 midwives. Does it tell a story? I hope it does. So, we haven't mentioned their names here, but we have their names of them. Finally, I'm going to end my family, which has turned into 18. PPAG was born at a historic meeting on 3rd March 1967. Remember, we had our national independence first week of March 1957. So almost exactly a decade after that, we also had the birth of PPAG. And where else do we have believers when they are birthed? Whether fictional, whether material, spiritual, or biological, we have a maternity block from the Clinical Teaching Hospital as our birthplace. Before later on, we had the outdooring of the GMO as the right to move see. So, with this one in mind, I believe a part of the PPAG story since then is what is going to be going to this evening. So with that, more of your time, I think I can hand over the mic so that we go into the nitty-gritty. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Please, another round of applause for you, Mr. John Fia. Our one and only. It's always interesting to have conversations with him, to interact with him. You will never know what you will get. It comes like that. Boom. But I've been in meetings with him, and each meeting you get to learn something new. He's like a teacher for life, wherever he is himself. At this point, we are going to invite one young person who is going to spice it up for us. But I need to remind all of you that we are streaming live. And so just be informed that we are live. Other volunteers are also watching us. Other partners who come here in person are also streaming live. So if you can hear me by watching us wherever you are, we are glad you are part of us. When I was young, I learned a poem in Patois. I was taught by my teacher, and I can tell you, I said the Patois. Today, I don't understand what I was saying, but I was taught to say during speech day. But today, it is not me to say the Patois. We have a young person, youth, a member of the PPAG Youth Action Movement. But of course, my patois was about the ozone layer. He says, oh, there goes the hole in the ozone layer, and global warming took over. Could not be. I told you. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Nina to give us the spoken words on PPAG. Oh, please, let's appreciate him.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm New Fair. New Fair Graphic. Today I'm here to do my spoken right as fellow distinguished guests, my church colleagues, and you hear me out and so today we gather here not just to commemorate a milestone, but to celebrate a legacy. A legacy built over 58 years of unwavering dedication, relentless advocacy, and transformative impact. Planned Parenthood Association of Ghana, since its inception on the 4th of March, has been a beacon of hope. It has been a guardian light, championing the cause of sexual and reproductive health and rights, with a vision that transcends time, a mission that touches lives, and a commitment that knows no bounds. For 58 years, PPAG has been more than an organization. It has been a movement that elevates, a movement that empowers, a movement that educates, with a simple yet profound belief that every individual, regardless of their background, regardless of their circumstance, deserves the right to accurate information and the best of services that upholds their sexual and reproductive health and rights. PPAG has been at the forefront of advocacy. It has broken down barriers. It has challenged societal norms in order to create a more inclusive and equitable landscape for sexual and reproductive health and rights. We've reached out to those sectors who undeserved. We've reached out to the marginalized. We've reached out to the most vulnerable, making sure that no one is left behind. Our leadership in PPAG about our sexual and health and reproductive system, with its education, has seen us launch groundbreaking initiatives. It has seen us launch innovative programs. We've conducted workshops, we've conducted seminars, as well as outreach programs, reaching out to young persons, reaching out to the old, men, women, people living with disabilities, to give them the right information, the right tools, to make informed decisions about their sexual and reproductive health and rights. Today, as we gather here to celebrate, let us reflect on our monumental achievements that have shaped our paths. With our extensive services ranging from family planning all the way to HIV care and prevention. All this gives individuals the power and the access to control their own futures. But is our job over? No, not at all. We are still in the process, and our mission does not end until the world ends. As the world evolves, so shall we evolve. So shall we adapt, leveraging on the power of partnerships and technology as well, and as well as community engagement to reach out to further heights. Ladies and gentlemen, as we gather here, we are here to say that our work is still continuing. And together we believe that we can achieve more than we have. And to our fellow dignitaries, to our pioneers who laid the foundation, we say thank you. To the volunteers who have put in their energy, their efforts, we say thank you. And to the staff who work tirelessly to make sure that our mission is accomplished, we say thank you. We celebrate the lives that have been touched, the dreams that have been realized, and all who have been impacted. To our minister, your involvement here, together with the dignitaries, highlights the importance of our cause. And to say that through this, we can forge new partnerships. Through this, we can inspire greater commitment and lasting impacts. For all this we have achieved, we are here to say thank you and to look at greater aspects of our life, to talk about sexual and reproductive health and rights, reaching and impacting to many young ones, all individuals as well. As we mark this milestone, let us continue with the same passion, with the same resolve that has brought us this far. Here is to 58 years of unwavering dedication. Here is to 58 years of leadership. Here is to 58 years of action. Here is to 58 years of achievement. Ladies and gentlemen, we do not stop here. Let us make sure that all we see and all we know are impacted by our mission here. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Another one for him. He has thanked all of us.
And to you, Daniel Ofe Dogi, I say thank you. Ape Medawasi. Oh, you are gone. Now, arigato gozaimasu. But tell us what you have.
So you're going to use another version of thank you in another language. Thank you so much, Daniel, for giving us that awesome speech. At this moment, we want all the partners to give us some solidarity messages. We have amongst us some distinguished partners, stakeholders that we work with, the government, civil society organizations. So we would have them give us some solidarity messages. So before the solidarity messages come in, we will have the executive director of PPAG, the person of Madam Abna Adudia Amwa, to introduce our guest of
Thank you very much.
2 points of order. What else?
So thank you very much.
You're not paying attention.
I'm honored to be here this evening. In fact,
Not really.
I'm quite excited on two fronts. Fact that I get to be with PPAG on this very important occasion of the 58th anniversary lecture, and also to witness some awesome speeches and to learn. So I'm quite excited. And I'm happy that I have to also introduce some of our dignitaries here present. And so I can see here the country director for Oxfam, Mr. Ahmad Badak. Badak is a brother. We were there in Legon together, and we also get to work together. So thank you very much, Badak, for coming. I would like to also welcome Mr. Kingsley Obin from Curious Minds. Thank you very much for honoring our invitation. And then I see Dr. Claudette Dilgo as well from the Family Health Division. She's been a partner with us for as long as PPAG has been in existence. But not she, Family Health Division, but for her, she's been with us. Well, for numerous occasions. I remember last year when we hosted our general with us in all the stakeholder meetings. So thank you very much for coming. And then also there's a rep from the Ghana Health Service also here with us. Thank you very much for honoring my invitation. From MSI, we have the country director. Thank you for coming. And then Ghana Boku is from Ghana Aid Commission. Ghana, we are very grateful for coming. And then we have a rep from the NTC also coming. Thank you very much. You have to forgive me, I'm not good at names. So once I don't have the name, I don't want to commit myself. So please forgive me. And we have invited the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection. She has accepted to be here. In fact, she was here, but she got an emergency and she had to step out. So she has nominated someone to come in, to represent her. I'm not sure whether the person is in,
Yeah, so can we see you? Thank you very much, madam. I think at the appropriate time, we'll introduce her for her to give her speech. I'm not sure if I've left any of our partners out. If I have, please forgive me. I'll come back and acknowledge you. So please forgive me. So I'd like to also acknowledge all our volunteers here present. Mr. John Jerry, introduce you already. Mr. John Jerry is one of our patrons. So she has a special place in my heart. So Mr. John Jerry, please, I have acknowledged you. So thank you very much for coming. I have prayed for the sins of my president. So thank you for our young members. I want to say thank you very much for coming in your presence, and for my staff also who are here. My director of finance and admin, Emil, is here with us. I'm sure the director of programs is on Zoom because he has traveled. He promised to join us. And the managers here, all the staff from PPAG, I'd like to acknowledge all of you and to say thank you for coming. Yeah, so thank you.
Sorry, I didn't.
So we want to have a physical interview, and then we invite the rep of the minister to give us the speech prepared by the minister. All right, so our DJ is having some technical challenge, and so we proceed. Ladies and gentlemen, without much ado, let's welcome the representative of the minister in the person of Miss Maria Bafua Opoku.
Okay. It's very late.
Recording in progress.
Distinguished professor, the national president, you can hear me. You can hear me. Hello. You can hear me. Distinguished professor, the national president, PPAG, council members of the PPAG, distinguished patrons PPAG, the executive director, staff of PPAG, the rep of state agency, UN agency, stakeholders, civil society organizations, friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen. So I really want to from the Minister for Gender and Social Protection. Honorable now in fact, she was here that had an emergency she had to. And so she has requested that I meet first
sincere apologies, and then I speech on her behalf. And so on her behalf, I need to say first. It is my profound honor to join you in celebrating Planned Parenthood Association of Parents Leadership and Sexual and Reproductive Health and Rights. Today, we reflect on the legacy of resilience, innovation, continuous advocacy, and a platform service delivery that has empowered women to take control of their reproductive health and future. Thank you for endless effort and determination to provide information, education, and services on SRHR for young people and housing in all categories and communities making informed choices about their reproductive health. PPAG established on 4th March 1967 became a full member of the International Plan Implementation in 1969. The association has a long history of leadership in family planning programs in Ghana and has pioneered main projects including family life education for the youth, male clinics, and the integration of family planning into community development projects. Originally, PPAG was focused on family planning for adult, and some transformation began in 1999 with focus on sexual and reproductive health and rights. In line with the International Conference on Population and Development Program of Action, the National Population Policy, and the National Youth Policy, PPAG expanded its focus to cover young people between 10 to 24 years primary targets. In addition, men and women of marginalized and vulnerable groups remain PPAG's secondary targets. PPAG's contribution over the years has been transformative. Over 6 million individuals have benefited from family planning and reproductive health services since its inception. PPAG's youth program have reached more than 1.5 million adolescents, providing them with vital education and counseling on reproductive health. Through mobile outreach services, PPAG has extended care to underserved areas, ensuring equitable access for them. In 2023, PPAG contributed 3 million contraceptives, preventing thousands of unintended pregnancy and unsafe abortion. PPAG has given both adults and young people the opportunity to volunteer their time and resources meaningfully towards improving the lives of people in the country. This milestone underscores PPAG's commitment to improving the lives of individuals and families across Ghana. As we all know, SRHR is the foundation of Ghana's development in the following areas: economically, access to reproductive health services such as family planning has helped to reduce poverty level by enabling families to plan their finances for the future. Ghana's maternal mortality ratio has declined significantly from 470 100,000 live deaths in 1990 to 310 in 2022. Though this is not encouraging, we need to appreciate the contribution of CSOs like PPAG and collectively work at reducing it to the SDGs standard of 100,000 by 2020. And education and gender equality. SRHR education empowers women and girls to pursue higher education and career opportunities, breaking cycle of poverty and be empowered to achieve their dreams. PPAG's work has been instrumental in supporting national priorities such as the National Reproductive Health Strategy and Ghana's pursuit of the Sustainable Development Goal, particularly Goal 3 and 5. PPAG has always been very instrumental with influencing national policy and laws. Let me appreciate PPAG for being among the first CSOs to set and run classes that educates young people about reproductive health. I am also informed of your young and wise centers across the country that provide not only counseling, medical treatment, but also libraries and recreation spaces for sports and arts for children and adolescents. Through fun and play, the youth are able to learn to learn. The government of Ghana has also made significant efforts aimed at improving access to reproductive health policies, programs, and law. The government has developed the following: National Reproductive Health Service Policy and Standard. This policy guides health workers in providing reproductive health services. Free maternal health care policy. This policy exempts pregnant women from paying NHIS premium. Ghana Shared Growth Development Agenda. This agenda prioritizes expanded access to reproductive health and family planning services. Community-based health planning and services. This program expands access to sexual and reproductive health services at the community level. Family planning program. This program has been integrated into the National Health Insurance Scheme and maternal health care, which is free. Just recently, the provision of family planning is also free under the NHIS, and it is being currently piloted in some selected districts. Additionally, the government of Ghana, under His Excellency President John Mahama, would soon establish the Ghana Medical Care Trust Fund, also known as the Mahama Cares, to support the cost of healthcare for persons with chronic disease such as kidney failure, cancer, sickle cell disease, diabetes, hypertension, and heart diseases. Also, free private healthcare will be provided from the chip-hop counts to the polyclinics level with an expanded health infrastructure to restore the prompt employment and timely deployment of health workers. To improve access to trained health professionals and reduce the time of traveling to major health facilities across specialized healthcare services, President Mahama has promised to reward healthcare workers who attempt posting to rural communities and the underserved areas with a decent rural allowances of 20% of the basic salary and shorter service period for promotion and study. Finally, the President is working with all relevant stakeholders to uncap the National Health Insurance Levy and ensure the timely release of payment to service providers and additional funds to finance healthcare for Ghanaians. This will not only improve access to healthcare, but also ensure that every Ghanaian, no matter their location or economic status, can have access to quality medical care. In regards to the issue of gender, children, and social protection, the Minister has prioritized strengthening social protection policy, enhancing women's economic empowerment, and introduce legal framework to address sexual exploitation in the workplace. In my recent discussion with CSO, I pledged to prioritize and strengthen the country's social protection system, particularly the school feeding program, to enhance the welfare of vulnerable children. Also, there is an urgent need for improved funding and operational efficiency. We are hopeful that with the joint effort of government, private sector, and contribution of serious PPAG, we can improve access to SRHR by young people with focus on addressing barriers such as stigma. We can warn Ghana out of donor dependence to have its negative impacts, like that of the current USA stock work program. Also, we can jointly address emerging trends such as the rise of misinformation, disinformation, and fake news. As stakeholders, we must confront this issue head on with innovation and sustainable solutions such as the PPAG, NCASA, Contact Center, and its focus. As we celebrate 58 years of PPAG's leadership in SRHR sector, let us envision the next chapter of advocacy and improve access to SRHR and calling for diversified funding sources, including domestic financing, to ensure sustainability. Let's join hands to strengthen partnership to amplify young people's voices, program design and policy advocacy. And finally, let's expand the mental health solution to enhance service delivery and data collection. The future depends on the collective action from all stakeholders, governments, NGOs, private sector, and communities. Ladies and gentlemen, let me leave here today inspired by the incredible day PPAG. PPAG Council Management and Education has saved lives of young people and vulnerable people, empowered communities, and transformed our productive sector. To donors and partners, your unwavering support has been instrumental in making this achievement possible. Together, we can ensure that the next 58 years builds on this ground leaders, creating a future where every Ghanaian has access to the knowledge, resources, and help they need to start and contribute to the efforts to the national development. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Minister President. Thank you so much for that speech. I want to acknowledge the presence of some few people who came to join us. So we have Chipaibu. Chipaibu, please pass away. And we have a presentation from the Netherlands. In due time, we will hear from some of our partners. But moving forward, we want to go to the major reason why we are here. That is the lecture that we have. I'll call my co-MC to introduce the man who gives us the lecture. Thank you.
Thank you very much, PPAG. Finally, we come to the climax of this lecture, and it's going to be delivered by someone who is highly accomplished, reproductive health specialist, organizational leader, and governance expert with over 22 years of experience in program design, project management, advocacy, capacity building, social behavioral change communication, and policy formulation. He has successfully led large-scale sexual reproductive health and rights, maternal and child health, among other programs, working with organizations including PPAG and the Bible to drive impactful change in the public health system in Ghana. With a strong background in strategic leadership, external relations, and social behavioral change communication, he has played a pivotal role in influencing policies, strengthening healthcare systems, and promoting evidence-based interventions across Ghana and Africa. His expertise spans through stakeholder engagement, governance, risk management, program evaluation, and financial oversight, making him a sought-after consultant in the development sector. He is currently serving as the Director of Programs at PPAG, providing programmatic oversight and operational guidance to contribute to Ghana's healthcare response. His consultancy work includes policy development, advocacy strategy formulation, and capacity building training for international organizations, CSOs, and government agencies. He is passionate about mentorship and sustainable development. He remains committed to fostering high-impact programs that advance healthcare equity and governance excellence. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Mr. Albert Wuda Martin. He not be by gray hair, he's actually a young man. He knows all the latest pillars in town. Yes, please.
Thank you very much, Michael People. Good evening to you all. And I'm just saying I'm happy to be here. I just want to also add that I think what's his name, Walter, Myanmar, the guy did a very great something. I mean, it's like he had my work to summarize everything. I really appreciate the work you do. So, Madam Chairperson, representative of the Minister of Gender, Children and Social Protection, representatives from Ministry of Health and the Ghana Health Service, representatives from UN agencies, patrons of PPAG. I know about 2 of them are online listening to us. There's one here. The president of PPAG, representatives of the Council of PPAG, representatives of civil society organizations. I see some known faces there, and some are getting the grade like I'm getting. We also have volunteers and staff for PPA, both of them present here. I acknowledge all of you, friends of the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I must say that I'm very honored. But when I was giving this assignment, I didn't even know where to start from, because the work of PPA is something else. But I had just to focus on its leadership, the key roles that we have played in the country, and I'll be sharing some of that with you. We are celebrating this extraordinary 58th anniversary celebration, and I must say that for nearly 6 decades, the organization has been in the forefront of promoting sexual and reproductive health rights in Ghana. Today, we pause to reflect on its rich legacy and the incredible impact it has made on the lives and livelihoods of marginalized and underserved communities across the country, Ghana. We also celebrate not only the organization's accomplishments, but also the dedication, compassion, and unwavering commitment of its volunteers, staff, and partners. I invite you to reflect on the past, present, and the future of SRH in Ghana, examining PPAG's leadership impact, national contribution, challenges, and the way forward. It has not all been rosy. As you have heard from previous speakers about the history from Mr. Josia, a visionary group of individuals came together with a shared mission to ensure every Ghanaian, regardless of age, gender, and social background, has the knowledge, resources, and support to make informed choices concerning, at that time, their reproductive health rights. Through PPAG's leadership, activists have created numerous issues, and we will move on from there. I mean, the minister's statement has some of the things, so I don't want to skip because we've been there for a while. Then we will have that. Now, our leadership has also included, we all know in this reproductive health issues related to breaking down myths and misconceptions and raising awareness and advocating for policy change at all its levels. Let me add that I'm not too sure whether this is there has anything to do with my age, but we are here. So let me also mention that the strategies of PPAG have been very varied, and I just want to highlight a few of them and explain what goes into those strategies that were shared. So, for example, one of the key interventions of PPAG has been the issue of volunteerism. I mean, the organization started as a volunteer group, and when the work became more difficult, they had to, because they had other work, other assignments to do, they had to recruit staff. That's how some staff came in. So PPAG is a volunteer-based organization, and they have recruited staff, and staff are working for the organization on day-to-day basis. So this volunteerism is at two levels, at the governance level and in the higher decision-making body of the organization, and at the community level, where we work with anybody who is ready and believes in our vision. You could be a taxi driver, you could be a marketing man, you could be a teacher, whatever you are in the community. Once you share our ideas, we'll work with you so that you can build your capacity and work with you to achieve some of the assignments down there. The other thing, the strategy we have been doing is comprehensive sexual and reproductive health and rights education programs. Now, you heard about the FLE, family life education in schools. I'll talk a little bit about this. We also do a number of community outreaches, talks with farmers, interacting with farmers, all those things in the community, just to engage people within the community, to appreciate the needs of sexual and reproductive health rights, and give them the necessary information to make informed choices concerning their sexuality. The other phase of education we are now into is healing, counseling, and digital counseling. We heard about the young cancer. I'll talk a little bit more about it too, so that you. Then again, one of the key strategies has been the use of youth centers, the youth center approach, where the concept of peer education training, young people are identified, their capacities are built, and they reach out to their fellow colleagues on sexual and reproductive health and rights issues. Also, were the issues of youth-friendly services, including counseling. I've also mentioned already the youth centers. And these youth centers are one-stop facilities, where when a young person comes in there, will get all the information he or she needs related to sexual and reproductive rights, and will also get the service he or she requires there. If there is anything beyond that center, then there's an established referral network within the location of the center, and that young person is referred to that location for further management. Again, operation of youth corners within the Ghana Health Facility. I'm sure some of them still exist, where based on our work with young people, we established youth corners in some of the health facilities across the country, where young people can go, devoid of seeing, hopefully joining the main consultancy, seeing consultant issues, seeing maybe an auntie or an uncle there, and then he or she cannot talk about issues related to sexuality. But then at these youth corners, the service providers are trained on how to manage and handle young people. Then we also have a number of programs in the area of livelihood skills training, and then advocacy and youth empowerment. Access to affordable quality SRHR services, so for example, family planning services, maternal and child health services, comprehensive abortion care services, including safe abortion, and then HIV, STI prevention and treatment. Then again, some of our facilities, family planning services, including fertility management, vasectomy, and sterilization. Then another strategy is advocacy for sexual and reproductive rights and policy change. So we have a lot of legislative advocacy, community and religious engagement with the community-based people, so that the traditional authority, the religious authority, and opinion leaders at the various communities, all in a face-to-face enabling environment in there so that our work can go on smoothly. Then again, we also have been doing, allow me to say we, because I used to be in PPAG. So even though I'm talking for them, I've been part of the whole process. So, and then training capacity building program, training of healthcare workers, volunteer networks, and other support groups. So we have a strategy of training networks within the various communities, because the more people talk about a particular issue, the more people feel they should be part of that assignment. We don't need, in all our work, we have not left out monitoring and evaluation. So the issues of data collection and research, and a strong feedback mechanism to ensure that all our providers are providing quality services. So in some cases, they are exit interviews at the facilities. There are mystery client surveys, so we send somebody in there to pretend that he or she is coming for a service, and then we get to know and assess the quality of services that the service providers are conducting. Then issues of baseline, because you need to know what is there before you intervene, make sense to modify your programs and inline studies to measure the impact and other things that you have done. And these are all in a bit to ensure sustainability of our programs and move forward. Then the issue of collaboration and partnership is very key with government and legal government sectors, with traditional authorities and legal groups. With the private sector is also very key. And what we have, the other thing we do is what we call social franchising, where we identify a private health facility, build their capacity in terms of human resources, and sometimes some equipment that will be able to offer some of the services on our behalf where we cannot reach. So we don't do everything, but we work with these people to do some private sector work. And then there's been a partnership with some media personalities and media houses. So these are the various strategies that the organization has been using over the years. Now, let's delve a little deeper in some of the key leadership things that the organization has done over the years. So I'll be taking them in periods. So for example, during the period 1957 to 1960, when this whole thing started, one of the first interventions was what they called integrated family planning services. And this was in collaboration with the Ministry of Health at that time. And this was combined with maternal and child health and family planning services as a means of improving the health of women and children. It was also aimed at bridging the gap between knowledge and practice of contraception among men and women within the reproductive health age. It included family planning and the IEC material development to, enforce communication, reinforce communication at various levels, because material, those are very key. And various channels, so the radio could be used, and flyers, leaflets, and all those things. So the messaging continues to reflect in your mind. Again, management of sexual transmitted diseases at that time, we used to call them sexually transmitted diseases. And then pregnancy test, treatment of minor ailments, antenatal and postnatal service, immunization, and nutrition education, way back in 1957. Now, it was mentioned in the minister's speech that we became a full member of the Plant Parenthood Association of Ghana. That's our international body, and in 1959. Now, during the period 1960 to 1970, the organization initiated discussions on incorporating family life education into the school curriculum, based on recommendations from a multi-sectoral committee. Now, after a few years of discussions, the Ministry of Education had a committee set up in 1973, and it was by the Chief Education Officer. So Mr. Josiah can relate at that time who a Chief Education Officer was to the current political structure we have. And this officer was in the name, the person, Mr. J.W.L. Mill. He was within the curriculum research and development division, which I know still exists, and to examine the proposal we sent to get FLA into the school. It was later on in 1980-81 year, the pilot phase of the program was launched in 5 schools and colleges. And by the end of 85, the program was operational in 43 central institutions in the country. In the early 1990s, SLE clubs were also part of the in-school program. And by 1997, PPAG was operating about 54 family life education clubs across the country. And this was, there were other groups like the cell groups and other things that were all operated parallel. So you could see that to complement the effort of including FLE in the school curriculum, we also have a program outside the school for out-of-school youth. And even the school children, when they also come back home, there's also a package out. So the education went on. This was way back. The other thing that we did during that period, within the 1970s and 80s, was a male motivation program where we formed what we called Daddy's Club. Because we realized that, like Mr. Joja mentioned, at that time, the men called the shots, and the women will hardly come forward for certain things before. Now, even in some communities, the men still call the shots, and even when the women want to come around, it's difficult for them. But then we had to form these clubs, and some of these clubs still exist in some of our project communities where we engage the men, and now engaging young people, young boys to be able to be supportive of the women come for services. Now, even this male thing moved further down the line, and then the education spread, and when we started providing vasectomy services at the clinic in Accra, and we were able to reach out to some men to understand that vasectomy is not aspiration. So some men were coming for the services. Towards 1980 to 1990, PPAG that's when we wanted to involve the young people, and we organized a 3-day youth conference under the theme Youth and Responsible Parenting, and through which participants from the regional branches and associations all came in to discuss issues related to sexual and reproductive rights, gender, and substance abuse. That was way back in the 80s. Following that, there was a second conference in 1997 at Shanti Region, and this led to the formation of reproductive health education services for young people, and we called it the rescue, and where young people were engaged and they were also being informed about their reproductive rights, all in a bid for them to make informed choices concerning their sexuality. So these are some of the leadership things. Then, towards the latter part of the 1990s, the issue of there was another conference at the national level, and then the concept of the youth, first was youth advocacy movement came about, and now it's the youth action movement. And it's all a bit to get young people involved in reproductive health related issues. We all know the sensitive topic of reproductive health. So when it comes to issues with sex and sexuality. Around that time too, with support from the USAID, we had what we call the community-based distribution of non-clinical contraceptives at the community level. It was a massive program where your next door neighbor may be a community-based agent, and you can get condom from it. So you don't have to rush to the pharmacy when you are hot and use the condom. There's somebody trained right by you who you can access and get condoms, and then, So that program later metamorphosed into the community-based services, because we went beyond just distribution of non-clinical contraceptives at the community level, where facilities, these people were linked to health facilities, and then they can send them, the referral network will send them for the clinical contraceptives, so as there a professional who attend to them. But these community-based service agencies had all the information. They could do all the counseling, but they were not to provide specific services. All they had to do was to refer the clients to the nearest Ghana Health Service facility, so that that service will be provided for. That is particularly for the clinical network. Around that time too, the association also introduced what they call integrated family planning, nutrition, and parasite control program. And this was supported by the Japanese government. You can see that they had a lot of experiences in that, following the World War II and the many things they found themselves in. They had a lot of experiences in parasite control. So together with, they had an organization called Joyce. This program was introduced in some communities in, I remember the Ewutu one, there was one in Ewutu. Now the main strategy too was to use nutrition and parasite control as entry points, to provide reproductive health services, because then there were issues with that in the community. And the key objectives were increasing family planning acceptance, reducing the prevalence of intestinal parasites among children, and improving the nutrition status of children. So that was the match. Now, this initiative built some clinics and outreach centers to provide services. Now, these clinics have been successfully handed over to the Ghana Health Service, and they are currently still in use, by the Health Service. They have some in the Wutu, Takrade, and where the remote people are, they have some facilities. So those things are still being in use. So these are some of the initiatives during that time. Now, when you come to the 1990s to the 2000s, the CBS program hit a major shift. And it was around that time that the global gag rule, which was the US imposed Mexican policy, which restricted USA assistance to agencies that were using funding from other sources to provide comprehensive abortion care services, including counseling, referrals for abortion, or lobbying for legalization or availability of abortion services in the country. So that was a massive program, to the extent that we had to lose, if my memory serves me right, over 130 staff at a go. So the organization was really shaking just because of this policy. And I'm sure some of you can still experience some of those things today. Around that same time too, the minister talked about the ICPD and a few other things, and the focus changes to young people. So PPAG went through a big paradigm shift, and we have to focus more on young people and as the primary target, and the adults as the secondary target. And I mentioned peer education in the strategy, and the concept of peer education and the provision of youth-friendly services through the operation of youth centers and adolescent-friendly corners within the Ghana Health Service. Now, during this period, a lot of marketing, branding, rebranding, and things went on. And some of the songs were, when we started, the young people wanted us to sing some of the lines of the songs. If you really stand by, you know, that kind of thing. Now, this did not go unnoticed, to the extent that the Chartered Institute of Marketing in Ghana has an award, what's called the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industries Award for the best marketing-oriented organization in the year 2001, was awarded to PPAG. So the CIMB awarded this for marketing or oriental organization of the year, all because of the publicity at that time, the adverts, the billboards, it was massive. And that launched us to work more with young people from there. The other leadership thing there was that PPAG was the first civil society organization as a principal recipient of the Global Fund. And our work was providing HIV education and services in and out of school and to the general population. And we worked with tertiary institutions and also prisons. So we have some work on HIV-related issues at the prisons. We worked in all the 43 prisons in the country. And we did that through other sub-recipients and partners. Some of them are here with us today. And the program was such that as much as we were working with the prison units, we were also working with the prison officers and their spouses. So it was a massive program. And the other thing that also happened in 2000, within 2010, is the fact that through strong advocacy, we led a coalition of civil society organizations to advocate for the inclusion of family planning, that's the clinical methods, on the essential medicines list. You recall that the minister also talked about the fact that during that time there was this free maternal care by the government at that time. And we realized that it's free, but then there are other things that are hindering them. So we're able to work together, family planning, clinical methods on the essential medicines list included in the essential medicines list. Sorry. Now, it was around that same time that we initiated the inclusion of family planning on the health insurance scheme. So as much as it were steps, so when we got it on the health insurance, the next level was on the health insurance scheme. Now, I must say that let me just pick one of the challenges here was that we went a long way, but unfortunately, change of government set us back. So now what we tried to do as leaders in this space was to engage the political parties when they are writing their manifestos, so that some of these things will be captured in their manifestos, and when they come, we can hold them accountable for it. So at some of the IEA meetings that have been going on then, we were given the opportunity, the same advocacy, to ask them questions. So together with the coalition that we have formed, we had the opportunity to ask questions of all the presidential candidates to tell us about the programs they have for family planning, sexual reproductive rights, etc. All the bits to ensure that when they come, they will stick to that. Then again, I want to say myself, because of the expertise we had as staff and volunteers, we leveraged this expertise in that is particularly in training, social behavioral change involvement, etc. And we formed a training consultant. So we had a consultant where we were training other organizations across Ghana. And we also had an SPCC material production unit. So again, based on the knowledge and skills we have, we are producing IEC materials and social behavioral change materials for our organization and other organizations. And the income we're making from that, we're using to support our programs. Now, let me jump a little bit. And this initiative is what has finally led to the billboard you see here, the EHCP, where we are still doing that, and I have become a president, more like a press, where a lot of good things are being produced there. And it's open to any civil society organization or any government to come around and ensure that we can get the material. Then again, during that period, the International Plant Security Federation acknowledged PPAG as a learning center, particularly in these areas: governance, youth-friendly, Special Reproductive Health and Rights Programming, and Finance and Administration when it comes to NGO management. Unfortunately, some of us were trainers that fly in the area of governance for other member associations within the IBCS fraternity. So now let's come to the year 2010 to 2020. Again, the government of Japan came in again, and this time around, there was a huge need for family planning services within the Peru East district. So together with the government of Japan again, we set up a reproductive health center at the place called Kotosko. And they had 4 ship compounds as part of the project. So those were journey facilities along the River Volta. And when there are issues beyond them at the ship compound, they refer them to the main reproductive health, through the reproductive health center in Kotosko. Now, after operation of this center for a while, as I agreed upon, we also handed over the ship compound and the clinic to the Ghana Health Service. In 2015, PPAG was rated as Ghana's best performing principal recipient of the Global Fund, achieving a 66% referral rate of HIV positive inmates to access treatment in hospitals. This accomplishment highlighted PPAG's effective implementation of HIV programs within the Ghana prisons. Now, so just to relate to we were a principal recipient at the time, and as the years went on, this award came. The minister also shared a number of statistics in terms of number of people used and other things. So I would also skip that one and move forward from there. Then within that same period, the year, so PPAG continuously also received the Chartered Institute of Marketing Award against CIMA, not-for-profit organization of the year, for the year 2021, 2022, 2023, and just last year, 2024. I didn't see any platforms in there. I've got so many things to do that. Now, when I say, I have to plan. So we are waiting for 2025 with the president. Okay, so let's continue, but let's appreciate the work of all the volunteers and staff of PPAG, because this is what continues to make them win the significant award. Again, during this time we received some funding from the Hewlett Packard funds to support project activities in 14 member associations in Africa. When I say member associations, I'm referring to other associations like PPAG in other African countries. So I think now we have 43. Then it was 43 in Africa. So we have member associations 43 in Africa. So I don't know the number now because I know some of them have pulled them out. But this funding was for 40 member associations, and we were managing the advance, etc. All because of the trust and the faith and the quality of services that we have been providing over the years. So let's come to 2020 to 2025. So in response to the COVID-19, we all are aware about this. PPAG set up. We already had some phone-in programs, but we strengthened this during the COVID time, and the setup is called Yankisa. So I'm trying to look out for this. My tree is not too good, but then that it means that let's speak here. And then I will do that. And I don't know what the LS will say, but the good will go. If I look at my RF friends, they're not helping me with this. Yankasa, what would the LS say? People. Okay. What would the fancies say? Fancies will say the same thing like something. And any other Joshua, how would you say it? Okay, so this is a digital contact center to serve as a one-stop platform for various SRH, sexual and reproductive rights, information, counseling, and referrals for young people and the general public as a whole. I think we have a billboard outside or something, but for those who care to know, the toll-free number is 0800-202010. And it's both active on Vodafone and Airtel Tigo. Now, again, you can also reach the center on WhatsApp, and the number is 024-511-8228. Now, this has become an innovative product that is expected to be an impactful response to the global shift from physical contact to, the other is not physical, it's online, contact, so that information can be shared with young people. They can also have the confidence in reaching out to you, and then the necessary referrals are made to the various parties. Now, let me emphasize here that the referrals are not just referrals. The referrals are such that there are particular people you go to that referral center who are also equally trained to manage young people. So you don't find a situation where you send a young person somewhere and he or she will need a postal nurse or midwife. Apologies to all the nurses and midwives here, but sometimes our tradition and culture doesn't accept young people talking about sex or actually requesting for some family planning methods or condoms or pills or whatever it is. They just see it as very they are not comfortable with it. And let me tell you that during the rebranding thing of the young, one of the issues that came out from me was the fact that when the young people know, you are spoiling them. If they don't know, they don't know. But it was never true. Even studies show that the more they know, the better they protect themselves in related to this. So it's important that we take away all the ignorances and we don't allow a situation where another young person will tell another young person that, oh, when you get pregnant, let's jump from the second floor and the pregnancy will go. Or let me stand on your feet. Or your top coming and the pregnancy will go. Or there are some bicycle hooks you can use to bring it out. I mean, if you have information, when somebody tells you these things, you never listen to the person. It's always good that give them all the information so that they can make the right choice themselves concerning their problem. Again, PPAG is a center of excellence in model for self-care, delivery, provision of youth-friendly services, and gender equity initiatives among local and international organizations in the SRHR. It is worth noting that staff, again, most of the staff and volunteers have been serving on many technical working groups in Ghana, and they have been contributing their quota in relation to that. They are also trainers for family planning and adolescent sexual and reproductive rights. Now, again, over the period, our youth centers and clinics have served as learning centers for some sexual institutions that have been running public health programs. So they come there with their students to appreciate and understand how NGOs work in the public health sector. So that has been constant for a long while. So these are some of a few. There are so many, but I just picked a few that I felt were initiatives that today you will find that we still continue with it, and other programs and organizations are leveraging on it to move forward because they have been tried and tested approaches in reaching young people, adults, and a few other people with SRHR information. So while I was doing this, a colleague of mine helped me to scan the media and the environment to see what some organizations have been saying about PPAG. So I'll be quoting a few. I think I have about 6 that will take time. And for some of them, when what is said, you'll be able to identify the organization. So, for example, PPAG has been an invaluable partner in Ghana's healthcare system, especially in the area of family planning, maternal health, and youth-friendly service. Their contributions have significantly improved the development health outcomes and reduced maternal and infant mortality rates. So that is one organization. The other organization is that the collaboration between PPAG and the Ghana Health Service has strengthened community-based healthcare delivery, particularly in hard-to-reach areas. Through PPAG's outreach programs, we have witnessed increased contraceptive use and a decline in unsafe abortion. Another organization, as I started to quote and unquote, another quote, PPAG's role in advocating for population control and reproductive health policies has been crucial in Ghana's efforts to achieve sustainable development. Their work aligns with national policies aimed at improving the well-being of our citizens. Unquote. The next one, quote, as a long-term partner, UNFP acknowledges PPAG's commitment to promoting sexual and reproductive health rights. There are innovative programs such as the Young Kasa digital platform have expanded access to reproductive health information for young people. Unquote. Quote. As young people, we have benefited immensely from PPAG's mentorship, training, and reproductive health services. Their youth-friendly centers and education programs empower us to make informed decisions about our health and our future. Unquote. And the last quote my colleague took from me was that PPAG has engaged us respectfully and effectively in discussions about reproductive health, helping bridging the gap between culture and modern health practice. This one, I must say, it came from a traditional, it came from traditional religious leaders. So, now, these testimonies, among many others, highlight the far-reaching impact of PPAG's leadership and reinforces the need for continued support and investment in SRH programs. It has not all been easy. Issues relating to traditional, religious, and cultural perceptions have been barriers for our work, but some of these barriers are not unsurmountable. Misinformation, misconception addressing these barriers to access in remote and underserved areas have remained persistent. I mean, it's like, after all the education, there are still challenges out there. But I just say that what that means is that we still have some more work to do. And together as partners, we'll be able to reach out to these people. The other challenge I've already mentioned is change of government. Sometimes we do a lot of advocacy to reach a certain level, but another government comes in and their focus is entirely different. And you need to go back and start all over again. But in some cases, it has been quite smooth. So as we reflect on the achievements of the past, we must also commit ourselves to pushing forward, advocating for better policies and ensuring that the rights of all individuals, regardless of their circumstances, are respected. So I just have a few things to say here that let's continue to innovate, adapt, collaborate with key stakeholders to ensure that the SRH needs of all barriers are met. Let's take advantage of new technologies and the social media. I think the young people are already helping us in that. Even my children have put me on most of those platforms, but I don't even know how to play it. So when I'm bored, I just play and I see what is happening there. But the young people can help us better use it. So let's take advantage of that situation. As volunteers, whether through advocacy, your role can be through advocacy, donation, spreading the awareness. You can play, all these roles are there for you to play. So don't say that if you come in as a volunteer, what are you going to do? There's so much for you to do. So we challenge the volunteers to work more towards supporting fundraising initiatives because we know that without money, many things cannot be done. And PPAG set up more clinics in rural and urban areas, as well as provide mobile health services. That should be expanded to reach remote communities. I think that is very key. So let's see how together we can raise more funds. Let's move away from the traditional way of raising funds, always waiting for a donor. But how do we partner the private sector in this country to have not spot program interventions, but get a private company to work with us throughout many years? You know, one of the things that came into my mind was some years back, but I haven't been able to do it. For example, if we are going to, and I'm speaking to one of the owners of this facility, if for example, we just say to a private organization, let's say a bank, can you invest 2 million Ghana cedis in any of the investment accounts? All we need is the return on that investment to one program. So if, for example, that $2 million gives us, let's say, 200,000, we are short of 200,000 every year. Your 2 million is still there for you, but you are making your money work for some investment for us to use today. So it's something that I think the media should pick up and see where, I mean, so you still have your money. All we want is that the return on investment, that is it. The return on investment is good to us so that we can implement services and we acknowledge you duly. So that is something that we need to look at. So, well, I urge corporate Ghana to invest in SRH by dedicating a proportion of their corporate social responsibility to support PPAG to reach not only PPAG but other organizations in this case, to reach out to young people in hard to reach and expand its digital platforms to reach out to young people in urban environment, peri-urban communities. Also, community-based programs should engage traditional and religious leaders in SRH discussions. Together, we can build a future where reproductive health is not just a right, but a reality for all Ghanaians. Let us continue to work together to make this vision a reality. PPAG's leadership in SRH education services in Ghana stands a powerful testament. It's a powerful testament to what can be reached when an organization supported by dedicated teams and community partners work relentlessly towards improving lives and ensuring that sexual and reproductive rights are a reality for all. To the volunteers, to the staff, and the partners of PPAG, both past and present, your contributions are invaluable. Your passion continues to drive the important work. Today, we honor you, the individuals whose tireless efforts have shaped the SRH landscape in Ghana, and whose commitment is to the health and well-being of all individuals with empower. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, happy anniversary and thank you for your attention.
Oh, we can do it better. An applause and standing ovation for our lecturer, Mr. Albert Buddha Martin. Thank you very much. So at this point, we will take some few questions or comments or contributions if there are any. So yes.
Thank you so much. I love the way you were referring to my speech. It means you really listen to what I said. And I thank you so much. My question is, the adolescent, is it friendly corner? I went for a meeting at the Ghana House. Wow. That when the old women and men see the young girls coming from, then there's a tag, stigma on them. I don't know how we can educate this woman, because when a girl, you don't know why the girl is coming from there, but the moment they see her coming from there, hey, you get it. And that is preventing a lot of young girls from. Exactly. So I don't know how we, thank you.
Thank you very much. We take if there's any question or contribution based on the lecture. If not, then we'll proceed. Thank you.
Okay, so this is very, very true. And a number of strategies have been used. I'm sure the other colleagues here who can share their strategies too. But one of the things we did around that time was that the education went to all the people in the health facility. The other thing is that the entry and exit for the, let's say the youth-friendly corner was not the same as the main OPD area. I don't know what it is now, but that's how we next. It was still within the same health facility, but the entry and exit was not within the main OPD area. So the numbers went up. But I'm sure your concern is that as it goes up, the entry exit may be different, but the community members have ears and they have eyes. So certainly it remains a challenge. But one of the programs what we did, and it was support from UNFPA, PAP and Pathfinder, the IR program. We had a situation where we formed community networks. So we had the Pantan Run, yeah. So we have a network of traditional authority. So that one, the chief, mother, Kochian and things. Then the run was the religious, so it was parents advocacy network. If I get it wrong, remind me. Parents advocacy network. So the parents who formed that network within the community. And then we had the religious advocacy network, and the religious organizations formed that. And then we had the traditional, that's the term, advocacy networks. And then we had the young people themselves. Yeah. So in each community we operate, we had these 4 networks. And it would interest you to know that the capacity we gave them, at the point it was advocacy and other things. So what they were doing at the other level was that they found out the challenges within the communities themselves, who were not teaching anything. Any particular challenge they had, they discussed and debated it and were able to address it on their own because of the capacity we gave them. So if such communities, such structures are within the community, you might find 1 or 2 people stigmatizing the young people. But when they go to up the tree where they play the draft, or they are going to fetch water at the pond, there are other women within them who would kind of educate them as they go. So that's the kind of thing I think we can be doing, because stigma remains a challenge, or anything forever be with us because of the strong beliefs people have in their religion and tradition. It will forever remain with us. So I think that's what I have. We may have to have a more comprehensive program and let the communities identify the issues and challenges themselves and help solve it. If they need the organization support, you can always go in there and solve it. Thank you.
For very insightful presentation. Once again, my name is Isaac Sopele. I work in the National Population Council. In your presentation, you talked about collaboration and partnership, which is very key, especially in your service programs. But I didn't hear much about, in respect of monitoring. So I didn't hear much about monitoring. You didn't hear anything about monitoring. Why am I saying that? Well, there's that the fact that like collaboration and partnership, it's some of your going to activities, do you involve the government partners or do you involve the other private sector in the monitoring activities? I didn't hear about this. Thank you very much.
There's another speaker.
Thank you, thank you, Mr. Udamati, for the presentation. And I also want to commend PPAG for the good work they've been doing for the past 58 years. And mine is about the Young Casa. I think it's a very good program. And young people, as you know, or for all of us, there are times that we need somebody to talk to. We need a platform to engage, on issue of sexual reproductive health issues. So what I want to suggest is that probably we can engage more, maybe the partnership and how to make the contact really available to young people. I'm looking at how we can also probably engage the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection and other stakeholders, the media, so that, I don't know how many of us before today have heard about Young Casa and then the number. And I'm sure there are young people out there who need somebody to talk to. And this platform is a good one. So I just want to encourage management that let's engage more so that we get Young Casa to the target. Thank you.
Thank you and good evening. I also want to understand the structure of using volunteers over the period. In the past, if you spoke about volunteerism, it was seen as a good initiative. But with economic systems changing, how has PPAG been able to leverage the use of volunteers actively over the period without they fading out or without adopting to a newer model? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So, Mr. President, start coming up here to address the issue of volunteers. Let me take the one on the monetary evaluation. Yes, I did talk about monetary evaluation. When I was talking about the key strategies that PPAG has been using, I talked about research, I talked about monitoring, I talked about the fact that even if you are looking at issues related to, because in our implementation, we always need good baseline indicators to be able to have our interventions. And as and when work is going on, we do our midterm reviews and sometimes intermittent reviews to appreciate what the challenges are as we move along. And if there's a need for any form of reprogramming or redesign, we do that to ensure that at the end of the day, we're able to meet our outcomes and target. I also mentioned the fact that we have always been trying to do online surveys. And these online surveys are able to share with us and other partners some of that interventions that have worked, those that haven't worked, and what we can do to make others better. The other M&E thing we have been doing is in relation to quality of care or quality of services. So there's a whole program, and in that, it is not only us who go out to do the monitoring, but we partner the Ghana Health Service and other agencies, and they go out together with with us. So they even have what they call a quality assurance team that they go out by twice a year, right? Yes, to assess the performance of all our clinics. And because we always need, and sometimes our baseline surveys and analysis are not done by us. We give it to other partner organizations, other consultants, so that you can get that objective view of your program intervention. So those are some of the things that are happening. I mean, on regular basis, supportive supervision and other things have been going on. So sometimes you don't wait till an evaluation, but based on your findings as you move along, you're able to organize yourselves and move forward. I also talked about the feedback mechanism. At all our clinics, there's a hotline, there's a suggestion box, and there are ways in which we can deal with some of these things. And I mentioned the fact that we have mystery plans, surveys, where we try and put people in there to assess the work we do. And we also have exit interviews. So you sit somewhere and as the people walk out for the facility, engage them to find out if they are ready to talk to you. And you ask about the services that were provided to them. And if there are issues with it, they are able to address. So various strategies of doing that. And most of them, it is not always. Sometimes it's the young people, sometimes the other partners who are able to do that for us. Recently, there was one towards the Caribbean area, and we had the Ghana Health Service in that area to do it for us. So this is what has happened so far. Yes. So, Mr. President. Oh, so are you okay? Sorry. Mr. President, they said how, Yakasa. No, it was a contribution, or it's a contribution. So how have you been able to keep the volunteers working? It has not been easy, madam, but we have been doing it.
Yeah, then they try. Right, so I think that's quite a difficult one. Over the period, the spirit and understanding of volunteerism actually has been declining. Right. So in reality, the spirit of volunteerism has actually been declining over the years. But what we have done as an association is first of all to continue building the capacity of the few volunteers we have. But the truth is that it's become quite very difficult, as you rightly mentioned, because anytime we talk about volunteerism, people are thinking or asking, what can they get in return? But let me use this opportunity to appreciate and thank all old volunteers and new volunteers that have signed on. But how do we do it? So just as we engage in the community, just as we, for seminars like this, we open it up, we call for volunteers. But then we are looking for people that have first of all the skills and also the passion to do something for society without asking anything in return. And as I mentioned, it's never been that easy because the kind of quality and the numbers of volunteers we used to have over the years have actually declined. What we have done as an association is to still build a certain level of partnership with the corporate world, corporate institutions. We started somewhere last year. We have some few corporate organizations sign up to become partners as corporate volunteers. For the individuals, we still do the peer-to-peer recruitment. We also have a lot of branches across the nation. So the branches also recruit more people. But we'll try to do that at the lower level. That's the young people between the ages of 10 to 24. And once they understand the essence of volunteerism, they go up a bit. I personally, as our chairperson indicated, for the lecture that we're doing during the FLE time, some of us really had the impact or the essence of being volunteers, and we have actually been part of the association to date. So going forward, we need to discuss, and this is not just our PPAG, but we need to look at it as a corporate Ghana initiative to build that trust in young people and many people as well, to see how then we volunteer for not just SRHR issues, but even in other spheres as well. Most organizations, most countries that develop on the basis of volunteerism. The founding fathers of PPAG started that on the basis of volunteerism. And therefore, I'll use this opportunity to also call on all of us here to sign up as volunteers for PPAG so that we can be able to sustain the gains in the past 58 years and we look forward for the next 50 years also on how we can achieve it. Having done that, please, we all have sisters and brothers at home below the ages of, between the ages of 10 to 24. That's where we want to start with. Once we can change that orientation and mindset that it is a good thing to give, even as scripture says, it's a good thing to serve without anything expectation, but in the process, we build our own capacity. I think that's what we can begin with. I don't know whether that answers you.
So thank you very much. Let me add a few. For example, if you go to a community and you want to implement a program, and you know you will need volunteers. Now I'm coming to the programmatic volunteers, not the other level. You will do all your community entry activities, all the strategies you can think of, you get everything done. Now, you identify some people, through that you'll be able to identify, based on your project needs and targets, identify some people you want who are ready to work. Now, at the community level, when you build their capacity and they are relating with their colleagues within the car, it is a motivation, it's an incentive for them already. Now, we even learned that sometimes a common t-shirt printed makes them feel that they belong to this organization and they want to work with them. So those are the little things. And you need to give them the opportunity to be heard and to be seen. You know, if, for example, you are even going there to do an outreach service, just let them know that you are coming to do this. They will mobilize the community because they see themselves. There's some that would sometimes caution them that men want to say a classy doctor, because they are so involved that they sometimes you may say things that they don't have to say. You know, so you need to monitor that too. But I think when you give them the opportunity and you give them the necessary skills where they showcase themselves and they are above their colleagues in the it is motivation now. Certainly, occasionally they'll ask for money, but maybe there's a meeting and there's food and a drink, or there's a meeting where they come from, there's TNT, but you can never pay them, you know. But these little things, and the t-shirts, you wonder what wonders it makes. So I remember someday we were designing a program and we put in t-shirts, and the donor was like, "Oh, I can't pay for t-shirts." I must tell my friend, "Then you don't want to do this work." Because what the t-shirt means to a community volunteer, I have no idea. You know, so we have to push and get the t-shirt in there. So there are many strategies you can use and they will be. But the most important thing is that give them the opportunity. Let them lead you to the community. Even when you're going to the chief palace, let them lead and introduce you. That way they feel kind of empowered and they are always ready to. And then when bigger opportunities come, like there's a conference in Accra or something, invite the hard-working ones. The others will know that one day to be my opportunity. We've even gone to the extent of putting some community volunteers on international platforms, especially those who do well. So when you do that, then you see that there's no monthly or weekly anything, but these are some of the things that can help them remain in your program. And there's another challenge. You even find it, since we are partners here, you find some partners who go to the same community. Maybe they are helping them conduct a research or something, and it's something we need to think about. And the allowance they give for data collection is crazy because that donor has allowed it. And you go and your allowance is next to nothing. They are not ready to work with you. So I think it's hard time that as colleagues, we look at a certain minimum package because they are the same people who work with. You know, so there are real challenges they are brought up and they are out there. And like I said, if you are determined, you will always be able to get something done. Right.
And we have the last two, and then one person asks the question online, and we can just move up in time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Martin. He was my former boss.
He taught me a lot of the things that I know in this space. So thank you for this great lecture. My question for is on sustainability, and I think the president partly addressed it with having a very empowered and strong volunteer base. But there's also an increase in anti-sexual and reproductive health rights globally, which is also really affecting how, donor countries are giving back to civil society organizations in third world countries, including Ghana. So the question is, on the aspect of funding, what is really PPAG's sustainability plan? Because there's been a lot of, in Europe, a lot of countries have elected far-right governments. And these far-right governments basically do not believe in some principles about sexual and reproductive health, which then is resulting in the donor tax. And we recently had the case of USA. And so the question is really, what is the financial sustainability for PPAG? And it ties to the question that my sister here asked about the economic situation and how you can really make it appealing for others. Because even if you have the numbers in terms of the volunteers, there are certain things that you can only sustain with money. So what is that financial sustainability plan or suggestion or recommendation that you may want to give to people? Thank you.
Okay, so I think that the person asking the question online is somehow in line with what Joshua just talked about regarding the far right and how that is affecting PPAG and how PPAG hope to overcome. Yeah.
Thank you very much. My name is Johnson, and I'm wearing two hats. One, I'm here on behalf of the Ghana SRHR Alliance for Young People, and also Theatre for Professionals. As the speaker said, at Theatre for Professionals, we have worked with PPAG over the years, especially on the Global Fund that he mentioned that they even got an award. And during that period, I would say PPAG actually supported us as a sub-recipient in terms of our operational efficiency. When it comes to our operational efficiency, I would say PPAG did a lot for us, and also at a diplomatic level. They ensure that whatever we say we are doing, we do it and do it well. They come in to monitor and go to the field to verify whatever we said we have done. And also are equal to community on that. Then on the other hand, as youth allowance for young people, I would say when this whole thing started, I think PPAG provided the leadership in terms of ensuring that the partners that came together to work on a project called ASK, which is Access, Knowledge, and Service, move on to another program called CUSO, Get Out, Speak Out, where PPAG was always leading us to ensure that we work very hard to ensure that the project will be successful. Today, we have built a secretariat for the Alliance, and we are located at Amasaman. For those of you who are interested, the membership are Chaos Mandi, PPAG, NOSA, and Savannah Signature. Yeah, Theatre for Social Change, I would say. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, boss. It's something I shouldn't have missed. Like I told you, the things were many, and I remember how the Ask, Guso, and that kind of thing. Today, we are all happy that it has come, that alliance has come to stay, and we all were part of that process. So we are grateful it's come to stay and it's become an institution. So let me try and attend issues related to sustainability. Okay, and this one I'm going to give my own expertise. What I know PPAG is doing now is that they are doing some local income, what do you call it, IGF interventions to support the budgets they are implementing. They have the PAC team and the unit that produces materials, and the idea is that the profit that comes out, they've registered that organization as a separate corporate organization now. The income that comes in, they put it back into activities. But that is nowhere near the 2 million USD, 5 million USD, 10 million USD that will come in for, let's say, 5 years or 2 years or a year. It is nowhere near that. And that's how come the president was mentioning that we need to begin to engage corporate Ghana. Honestly, the advocacy should be so strong that we need to engage the corporate Ghana. We also need to engage individual entrepreneurs. I don't want to say certain things, but we all see what happens in this country. And if we are able to engage them and able to share with them the benefits, they need to know what is in for them. Then how do we package the information to be able to get these individuals? And we are online and it's being recorded, so I don't want to mention anybody's name, but we'll be able to get some of them to bring in some money. In the outside, they have what they call friends of, so you can have friends of PPAG, and you can bring in resources, etc. Now, when it comes to issues related to sustainability, you can take it from many aspects. There's programmatic sustainability, there's financial sustainability, and a few other things. In terms of programmatic sustainability, you are a non-governmental organization. You cannot do everything everywhere. But when you work with community structures, like you go to, let's say, Ashama, and there are community structures there, and you build the capacity of these community structures to do some of the things. When you are not there, some aspects of the intervention will continue at a lower scale. But the most important thing is that it's there. Let me share some experience. Again, during the higher time, Kalio, is it Kalio, Upper West, Nadoli, those areas. There was a major program there. And this same Pantan Run thing I described, the advocacy networks, were so strong there that after we had left, another organization went there 4 or 5 years later. They came back to tell us that those structures helped them in their implementation. So you see, those things remain with them because they owe it or owned it. Sometimes I get it wrong. They owned it, and it was there. So when another organization went, they leveraged on those community structures to work. You get it? So in terms of programmatic, those are some of the things you can do. Involve them, build their capacity, and get them. When you are not there, when you come there, you come with project funds and all sorts of things. But when you are not there, some level of activities to continue. And one key thing is that in your design, you need to ask yourself from the beginning that what do you want to be behind, and what do you want to the community to continue with. That way, as you move along, you'll be building that capacity and you're creating that awareness that you are not there forever. And therefore, when they see the benefits of your initiative, they'll handle it at their level, but not at the same scale. So those are some of the things you can do. But in terms of financial set and those big amounts, if you don't have a strong fundraising approach, and like I said, some countries have what they call friends. I know PPAG, we're about to start it. I don't know what happens, where individuals will put in money, and then, you always give them reports and various, how do you package it? Oh, give us five cities, it will save this. What is the package like? It's something we need to all think through. But in terms of the youth money there, there's no way. We've always been calling on government to support civil society. I don't know what the SRHR is about, putting government to support civil society. It hasn't happened. Though rather, sorry, I don't want to say that. So that's how it's been. It's not easy, but there are very little things we can do and start, and I'm sure we'll be able to get somewhere. Maybe not 58 years, but 72 years we will get somewhere. So that's what I can say. Right, thank you.
Yes, all the questions have been addressed by our lecturer. Let's give it to him. Lecturer Albert River, for such a very beautiful
mean, let's give another round of applause to ourselves. It is not easy to sit throughout the program and listen to everything going on, even though just a few people were really, really trying, and you've all done very well. I joined PPAG in 1998. Very, very young. So this morning, after taking my bath, I was in front of the mirror and I was looking at myself. PPAG is 58. Wow. And then all of a sudden, past me, I found one gray hair. And it's long, and I had not noticed. It was just this morning I realized it. One. And it means a lot to me. My mother used to tell me that gray hair is a sign of wisdom. So since morning, I've been looking at it's a wonderful experience to have one gray hair. But
okay, so I didn't have gray hair. All right, so we wanted to have our partners give us solidarity messages, but the time is on the side. So I would just, most partners have already been acknowledged, with the exception of Global Fund, whose name is Mr. Samuel Hackman from Global Fund. And thank you so much for being here. But then it is so important that at least we do hear some messages. So we will call on Oxfam Ghana, and they will do that on behalf of civil societies and non-governmental organizations that we have here. So the person to do that for us is the country director, Mr. Adam Sadat from Oxfam Ghana, to give us a solidarity message.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Not sure I qualify to speak on behalf of civil society in Ghana, because the organization I represent is not a Ghanaian organization. So this is a disclaimer, so that I don't get misquoted for speaking for Ghanaian civil society, which I am not qualified to do. I'm a Ghanaian, I can speak as a Ghanaian, but on behalf of Oxfam, I want to congratulate PPAG on its 58th anniversary celebration as a thought leader in the space of social, sexual and reproductive health services and education in Ghana. I guess for us in Oxfam, our partnership started about 4 or 5 years ago when we were looking for someone to work with on this particular subject. And like the lecturer provided us, and then our chief patron said that we didn't look far. It was easy for us to reach out to PPAG, and they opened their doors for us to partner with them. And so thank you very much, and congratulations once again. We look forward to strengthening the partnership and the relationship, and in making sure that we provide the needed support that we can as Oxfam in providing sexual and reproductive health services and education, especially for the young ones who the organization target to work with. And then to end by saying that one thing that I learned recently is that the future belongs to the mobilize and organize. And I do hope that going into the future, PPAG will look into how do we mobilize and organize in addressing the critical needs of sexual and reproductive health services in Ghana and beyond. So thank you very much, and once again, congratulations.
Thank you so much. That was the executive, the country director of Oxfam Ghana, Mr. Adam Sadat.
And before I go ahead to call the next individual who gives us a solidarity message, I also want to acknowledge the SDG3 coordinator in the person of Madam Levin. Madam Levin, please, if you can just give us a minute. Thank you so much for gracing our occasion. Now I'll call on our very own Dr. Claudette Diogo from the Ghana Health Service Family Health District to also give us a solidarity message. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Hello, everyone, and then happy anniversary, PPAG. So on behalf of government, we want to say that we appreciate all that you're doing as PPAG. We recognize it, and of course, we know that we cannot do it alone. If we don't have all our partners in those room and beyond to be able to make us achieve our goals. We continue to say that, yes, Ghana has made commitments for FP 2030. How can we do it if everyone is not contributing their quota? So, of course, today, as we celebrate your 58, we are here to say that together we make Ghana win, and let's continue with the good work in SRHR services. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Claudette. Always bringing the vibes on board. Thank you so much.
We just want to acknowledge EcoBank for their wonderful contribution. In fact, the beautiful atmosphere, the AC, oh my goodness. If you take all the phones of all the young ladies and you go into their gallery, you see a number of pictures and videos from the elevator to everywhere. They've really enjoyed the very beautiful environment. And I'm sure all of us have wonderful package for PPAG. Thank you, EcoBank. Now, the Yankasa to free line, in case you don't know, it was mentioned, I'll let you mention it, but I want you to write it down. It's 0800 20 20 10. And not just for yourself, but for your family, your friends, the young ones. If you're a teacher, your students, wherever you find yourself, give this number to those around you. You would not know who really need the services of Yankasa. It's a toll-free line. You don't need to have credit to call. And they are wonderful, experienced, trained counselors who are ready to receive the call and provide guidance to everybody who places a call to Yankasa.
Thank you so much, Michael, for that. So we are gradually coming to the closure of this program. We would like to call on Madam Chairperson Na Amali to give us the closing remarks.
Hello. First, I'd like to say thank you to all of you for staying and for engaging. Now, I've had a wonderful time. It took me back to when I was managing the Young and Wise Center at Ayalulu, and through Mr. Wooder's Martin's lecture, remember that I think I like the Catch Them Young strategy we are going with, because when I was managing that center, I was a teenager myself. I just finished A-levels, and I would say children, the youth who were coming were mainly from then GSS in the little cluster of schools. And I learned as much from them as I taught them, right? And that volunteering that I learned from the doctors, the nurses who came to the center to teach, and even from the students who will come and tell me, you know, can you talk to this person? Can you talk to that person, right? It made me believe that if we continue with the peer counseling, like we bring up more younger people, the Catch Them Young strategy, I think is going to work. And please, the Yankasa, I'm in love with the Yankasa, even though I haven't used it, because where we have the stigma, I think it will help us a bit, especially for the counseling bits, right? But we always have a counselor online and for them to talk to. I don't know if it has AI bots and stuff like that, but I'm hoping it does. I haven't used it yet, so I can't tell. And Niofe, thank you for your spoken word. It spoke to the legacy of 58 years that PPAG has done. And I thank you, Mr. John Pierre. So I remember when I was young, you know, I used to wonder why every week they are going to meetings. And my mom, Mr. John Pierre, until Dr. Binti, etc. And I used to wonder, why is it that these people go? So I got to the point when one day Dr. Binti called me and said, okay, now since you always wanted to know, now you are at the age where you have to come to meetings. I said, I can't. I said, okay, then pay your dues. And she actually got this for me, I think a couple of years back or so. And she said, you have to become more serious. Okay, so I'm encouraging all of you who have been lackadaisical in recruiting your friends. Okay, please recruit them. The little time you can spend, it's not always going to speak to people, but sometimes you need administrative support. Sometimes PPAG needs people to, let's say, write up a report, get data from somewhere, know somebody who knows somebody. As a volunteer, you can offer your resources and your time. So if you're not a volunteer yet, or you know somebody who could be a volunteer, please, let's do that. And I'd like to say thank you for our partners. And I am glad for the contributions and the acknowledgements you've made of the 58 years impact PPAG has made on this country. And to the minister and the minister's representative, I'm looking forward to more dialogue, to PPAG influencing more national policy. And Dr. Claudette, I think you'll be helping us with that in the family health bit. You know, I think I remember too much. So I remember when I was still doing my national service, that was when the daddies clubs, I think, had started. And I used to wonder, we had a staff called Mr. I think Miku, and he used to go to the taxi ranks, you know, and you go to strange places. I'd be like, how did you know there was a taxi rank there? He said, we have a list. So I'm hoping that we can keep talking to the Makola mummies, the truck drivers, etc. And you just start a conversation when you sit in an Uber with that Uber driver. That conversation is like about sexual reproductive rights and services. You'll speak with them, they might just pass it on. Okay, so let's all collectively keep working together and let's keep PPAG great. So long live PPAG, long live Ghana. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It's not too late. I'd like to acknowledge one important personality in our midst. He used to be a staff of PPAG. And as I have known him, he's one staff that when he was working, he works 24 hours. 24 hours. He comes to work in the morning, he will close the next day. Working for PPAG. Ladies and gentlemen, let's appreciate Nana Akumia, Nana Ose Akumia. We call him senior. Very, very hardworking. Before I let Pat come in, about my gray hair, I found that when I get home, apart from this place, I'm suspecting there should be another one somewhere. And I'll find it. I'll tell you when I find it. So, all too soon. Just a few announcements. We'll have a media interview. We'll invite some few of you to interview, and then there will be snack. As we are snacking, we'll also be networking among ourselves.
So we'll call on Miss Theophila Gavo to give us the vote of thanks. She's the governance officer at PPAG. And she's in charge. She's also the secretary, the executive secretary for the executive director. So, please give it up.
Very, very hard-working young lady.
Hi, good evening. So I would like to use this opportunity to say thank you to our distinguished guests, esteemed speakers, partners, council members, volunteers, and staff.
and all here gathered. As we have come to the close of this remarkable event, it's both an honor and a privilege to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of this prestigious association, PPAG. First and foremost, I'd like to say thank you to God for the success of an outstanding celebratory event. Our heartfelt gratitude goes to our distinguished speakers, Mr. Udamati, and then the representative of the Minister of Gender. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Our lecturers, our patrons who have shared their profound insights and expertise with us. Thank you. Your contributions have enriched today's discussions and inspired us all to continue championing sexual and reproductive health and rights in Ghana. To our special guests, our partners, stakeholders, we deeply appreciate your presence and unwavering support. Your commitment to our cause is invaluable, and we are grateful for the role you continue to play in advancing SRHR services and education with us. To EcoBank Ghana PLC, we extend our sincerest appreciation for providing us with this beautiful venue and the support that made today's event possible. Thank you, Mr. President, for making this possible. A big thank you to the media, to volunteers here and online, and the organizing team for your dedication and hard work in putting this event together. From planning to execution, your efforts have ensured the success of this milestone celebration. To all attendees, online, physical representations and delegates, young advocates, young staff, members of the association, your participation and engagement have made today meaningful to us. PPAG exists because of people like you, and we are grateful for your continued support. As we leave here today, let's carry forward the knowledge, especially from the lecture, the inspiration and commitment gained from this gathering to our communities and our sphere of contact. PPAG's mission is far from over, and with your collective efforts, we will continue to make a lasting impact in the lives of individuals and communities across the nation. Once again, thank you so much for being a part of this celebration. Safe travels, and we look forward to seeing you at the future PPAG events, especially for our 60th anniversary lecture. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So PPAG will not retire at the age of 60. Yes, we'll continue the journey. Last acknowledgement to somebody who has also played a key role in PPAG's life is KOK. Have you heard KOK? Kingsley or being Shred. Let's appreciate you. Free airtime, platform GBC, Gems of Our Time, Curious Minds. It has been there. It has actually trained a lot of young people, including members of PPAG, through his hands, trainings and all that. Okay, I go. Thank you very much. I didn't know Madam Chair was also part of the Ayalolo cluster. Oh my goodness. That was Charles Niaiku, Reverend Dennis Terry Bruce, and so on. They're all part of the Ayalolo team. That's very wonderful to know. We started with a prayer and we would end with one. I'm sure it would be fair to ask the one who began with us to close us. So I would bring the mic to.
I would like to take the opportunity to acknowledge the planning committee. I think they've done a very good job. Where are you? Let me see you. Reverend Achi, where's Reverend Achi? He left. Jemima, Theophila was actually not part, but she actually became the lead. Yes, and President provided him support. Yeah, so just to acknowledge you and to say thank you very much for putting this wonderful program together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Executive Director.
And so we are praying. Let's bow down in prayer. Father, we are once again grateful that you spared our first of this occasion to a beautiful end. The lessons we are carrying along to refine us and to refine society. Whilst we are pledging to you and pledging to ourselves that we are committed to making the world a better place. We pray for PPAG, that our PPAG will not lose that. But when PPAG leaves 58 to 60 and beyond, PPAG will be stronger and the world at large will benefit. Thank you, O God, for the life of our speaker and our guest speaker. We ask that you take us all to our home safely. And tomorrow, we will not forget to say that indeed this is the doing of the Lord. We thank you, Lord Jesus, for an answered prayer. Amen.
Please, we would want to take a group. Yes, there's also refreshments, but we'd like to take the group picture, then we'll take the refreshments. The food is not allowed in the conference room, so once you take your package, then we'll do the networking and then we'll try and get to our various destinations. So please, shall we come forward to take one beautiful, memorable group picture. Please, let's all join in. Those who are vertically challenged should come forward.
That's why
Thank you.
I didn't think that's but I have it there.